Welcome back to Pluto Jackson's Monster Hunt. This is a special actual play campaign in D&D 5e to celebrate the Kickstarter campaign for Monsters of Drakkenheim, which is now in its last 24 hours on Kickstarter. My name is Monty Martin, running our game tonight as Dungeon Master.
And I'm Kelly McLaughlin. I will be playing in the game tonight, facing some of the horrors of Drakkenheim. We are tonight going to be seeing one of the most iconic monsters from our book, because they are in fact the star of the cover. Pluto Jackson would actually argue against that, but
it's me.
Pluto Jackson is seen on the cover fighting many of the monsters, but none more prominent as what we will be seeing tonight. Of course, I cannot face these monsters alone, so not only do I need Pluto Jackson, he'll introduce himself in a second, but we're here with our good friends.
Jill Denitis, and I'm excited to venture even further into Drakkenheim to fight this amazing monster.
And you've heard of me, Pluto Jackson, played by Joe Gorman. You've probably heard less of me. And I'm ready to cement myself in history.
Thank you for joining us once again. We are the Dungeon Dudes, and we create all kinds of great content here on YouTube, but the focus and celebration here tonight is we are coming to the closing of our amazing third Kickstarter campaign for Monsters of Drakkenheim. This is a new book that we're putting out that is over 150 monsters inspired by Eldritch Horror that you can use for your 5th edition campaigns. We have been having a stellar campaign so far, and we are so thrilled with the results. Thank you to everyone that has backed the project so far, and if you're still on the fence, hopefully tonight's amazing encounter can seal the deal for you with some of what we've got in store in this book, because we have really worked hard to up our game with some amazing and challenging monsters that you can use in your campaigns, whether you are running in the world of Drakkenheim or your own homebrew games. With that, we return deep into the dungeons of Nox, where Veo Senya and Sebastian Crow are listening to Pluto Jackson regale the tales of his prior monster hunts, his first expeditions into Drakkenheim with the Caspian soldiers. Pluto.
Hey.
So I'm just wondering when he's going to be done with these stories.
There's really...
You just keep walking up behind me
Yeah,
whenever I
it's really
think we're
bad down
done.
here, and it's like they need a humidifier or something.
Yeah, you know, they
maybe
could use... It is pretty dry.
Yeah, let's try.
I would know. I don't really breathe.
But now that I've got your
anymore.
attention, it's important that I catch you up and get you to where the story really truly began, and before we got there, how it sort of happened. We had just overcome these horrible moth things that had made me forget so much. So much.
Explains so much.
Yeah,
it really
it does.
helps.
It actually,
It
yeah,
helps.
it sort of like puts a lot of pieces in place.
I'm less angry at you now knowing that your brain was eaten by moths. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. They shared me like a snack.
Pluto Jackson of the moth-eaten brain. Yeah, you ever open your closet and it was full of moths? That's Pluto's brain.
Yeah, you know when like
Like a
moths...
sweater that's all
Yeah.
holy.
Your brain is a sweater.
Yeah, just Swiss cheese brain.
But I can talk about my Swiss cheese brain all day. What I really want to tell you about is how I came to really find myself in Drakkenheim, and how I really understood this place. And you know, it was really through a series of unfortunate events that led us to the place that I met you.
I wouldn't call that unfortunate. Okay, go. Sure,
It
sorry.
was a
go
lot
ahead.
of
Go ahead.
terribleness, but
I mean, if we remember correctly, it was unfortunate because we lost so many Caspians.
so many.
Literally all of them.
Yeah, all
Except
of them.
you.
Yeah, and you know, we were really outdone by
I hope nothing bad happens to Galatina.
a
She's
horrible,
my favorite.
a horrible creature.
Screw.
Well, that's the thing.
Man, imagine if we had been adventuring with one of those two this whole time.
Oh man.
Hey, over here. Pay attention to me now. Talk to me. Hey, look at me. Hey.
Sorry, your story.
Sorry.
You're,
Am I not being loud enough?
you often...
Am I not being loud? The point is that it was only together that we were able to overcome our final obstacle, our greatest challenge together yet.
Oh.
And that's why I truly believe that 3 heads are better than 1. 3 heads are better than 1. Better than 1. Better than 1. Better than 1.
Dark in the night, they're looking for a fight. With the coals they tear, the three devil bite. Turn around, try to hide, best to stay out of sight. Save a string, so we see morning right. With a blade by a side, we will stand and fight. With the brave and bold, join the hunt tonight. Get around, grab your gear as the monsters are near. But we won't back down, we will face our fear. Like the true sword, shatter blade and spear. Turn to the night, won't break us here. With a blade by a side, we will stand and fight. With the brave and bold, join the hunt tonight. Now we turn the tides for those left behind. Now we grit our teeth and we'll make things right. Now we know we can fight. Now we take back the night. Our will and the light can be taken tonight. Together we stand, shells breaking our hands. In the dark, we'll stand up and fight. With a blade by a side, we will stand and fight. With the brave and bold, join the hunt tonight. Gather your strength, hunter near and far. We will show these beasts who the hunters are. Gather your strength, hunter near and far. And we will show these beasts who the hunters are.
We return to the ruins of Drakkenheim, where the Caspian expedition is making camp to try to settle down and recuperate from the previous battles. Recovering from your encounter with the Hazewing moths and healing yourselves, you have not gained a long rest. This is only a short rest recovery, as the group moves further into the ruins towards Temple Gate. Already you are receiving word of several stragglers in the column that have gone missing at the back, and others who have been wounded or injured or touched delirium or looked too deeply down a dark alley. But the morale is high, despite the loss of Clop Clop the horse and several other brave...
Clip Clop, sorry.
Clip Clop the horse, and several other brave Caspians. However, and so, Pluto, what motivational speech are you going to say to your soldiers as they march further towards Temple Gate?
How many are left?
Still well over 200.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, we're doing
We're
great.
down a cobbler. We're down a barber.
Pluto, these are soldiers.
They can do 2 things.
In Caspia, it's almost required that you have both a soldierly job as well as a craftsmanship.
I mean, it was true that I was forced to learn swordsmanship, even though I wanted to be a writer. So, checks out.
Yeah, yeah.
Continue.
Look, that stuff back there was scary. I know. But it sucked the fear right out of me. I no longer fear dancing in front of my friends and colleagues. And with that newfound confidence, I strike further into the heart of Drakkenheim. Is that the best you have for me, city? Well, then you are no match for Pluto Jackson and his merry band of adventurers.
And all the soldiers cried, "No one is match for House Jackson! Pluto Jackson! Yay!" And as everyone is cheering
Yes.
and crying out, eventually the cheering and the soldiers, calm down a little bit. But oddly enough, there's still like an odd yelling noise in the background. You look down the column and like a few people are chatting to one another, but the sound of the crying out of victory of all the Caspians kind of stays, but not as an echo. But then that kind of barking cry that all the Caspians are known for, the reverberations through the city streets and the buildings come back, and they're replaced with a cacophony of noises. There's a barking and a chittering and a screeching that you're hearing. And several of the soldiers begin to clasp at their ears and some of them look away. They bring their hands to their ears and pull back, and there's blood flowing out of their ears. And you feel this great shadow swoop across the column of soldiers. And as it does so, this horrific noise of chittering and screeching and growling and barking overtakes you, and you look down at the column as several of the soldiers, you see them affected by this. Some look at each other utterly bewildered. Some are chilled in place, and others staggered by the noises. Others bleeding from their ears, their eyes, and their noses as the horrific form of the monstrous creature lurches down and lands upon one of the nearby towers beside you.
Hold fast, men! Give it what for?
And as
Throw
you
your sword.
you cry
we still
out,
don't have any ranged weapons, right?
you see the beast.
I can rock.
You've heard of the ratlings and the harpies and the Garmir of Drakkenheim.
Just regular old.
But this monstrous chimera has 3 heads, and it lands on one of the towers.
Oh no.
One of its heads is a chittering rat, another a screeching harpy in the middle, and the other a howling hyena-like head, which together perform a madness-inducing chorus as the group of them take from the tower, and one of them swoops down to scoop up 2 of the soldiers, which the hungry heads begin to gobble up. Its forelimbs are clawed crosses between a rat paw and a like almost a manticore's claw, and its rear legs are almost like avian talons. And the beast's colossal furry body is borne upon massive wings that almost have this reddish purple hue. And you see that it has a slithering lamprey eel for a tail. Ugh. And as it cries out, you can actually see the 3 heads, the rattling head and the Garmir head, are fighting over the bits of meat from the poor, unfortunate Caspian soldier that they've been tearing apart. There is chaos in the ranks as most of your soldiers appear to be some form of incapacitated or bewildered by the terrible noise emitted by this creature.
Should we run?
Ye gods! We should attack.
Roll for initiative.
This is another trophy for the great House Jackson.
16.
16 for Gemini.
21.
21 for Galatea.
18.
18 for Pluto. Alrighty. This is the Cacophonous Chimera. This is one of our epic bosses. So, to recap, because we haven't had an epic boss in a couple episodes, epic bosses have 2 big features. First, their hit points are scaled to the number of players. Second, instead of taking a normal turn, the epic boss only moves and interacts on its turn, which is always initiative count 20. Instead, it will take 1 epic action after each of your turns. There the creature stands as it looks down from the tower upon the 3 of you. And the 3-headed beast cries out with a chitter, a squeak, a growl, and a scream. Galatea, you are the first to act.
Okay. I am going to activate my blade song. It's my bonus action. And it's up in the thing. Where am I am going to turn to Pluto and say, pummel it
Okay.
with your fists. And I polymorph him into a giant.
Ooh.
Okay. Pluto is polymorphed.
Thank you.
And then I'm going to run under the archway,
Okay.
readying my shimmering blade for when it attacks.
As befits its name, the Cacophonous Chimera uses its cacophony epic action that it can do once per round. Its 3 heads sing a discordant song. The effect of the song varies which of the heads is taking the lead. And so I think for this turn, I am going to have the harpy take the lead with her staggering screech. And I need a charisma saving throw from all of you.
16.
11.
Pluto?
Do I use if
You
my
use the
mental-
apes.
of the ape, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Are apes charismatic?
I mean, not a lot of things are more charismatic than me. Oh no, it's less, much less. Oh no, I got a 3.
Okay.
It's much less.
So, Gemini did succeed, but the other 2 of you failed, and you're going to take 15 necrotic damage, and you are staggered until you make a save. While you are staggered, you cannot make more than 1 attack on your turn, regardless of any of your class features, abilities, or spells. So you can make 1 attack, and 1 attack only if you choose to attack.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I'm concentrating.
Yep, you'll need a concentration check.
14?
14?
Yeah.
That should be enough to keep you in it.
It's
Okay.
like half or 10.
Now, the Cacophonous Chimera is going to spend its turn, so it's going to move normally. It's going to fly down off the tower, but it's going to stay 30 feet aloft in the air above. And it would like to position itself so that all 3 of you are within 30. It's going to go on the other side. Yeah. Yep.
Can you do me a favor and
Yep.
shimmy?
Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy.
There
it's
we
like
go.
30 feet above us in like a pyramid.
Yes, and as it settles down, you are now all in its cacophonous chorus aura. If you start your turn within 30 feet of the Cacophonous Chimera, you take 3d6 thunder damage as long as you can hear it. And so that is its turn. We go to Pluto, who is polymorphed.
And so I take how much damage?
You take 10 thunder damage.
And I'm going to...
Yes, the Cacophonous Chimera, a constant racket surrounds it, which causes the thunder damage because it's at a terrible pitch and volume. The rattling, the Garmir, and the Harpy heads are constantly arguing, barking, screaming, and muttering, both at each other, their prey, and themselves. So you can actually hear, you actually hear them arguing with one another constantly, and yelling at one another. And you hear the Harpy head say to one of the Rattlings, "Just once can we chat with someone a little before we eat them?" And the Garmir head says, "Rah, stop talking, rip and tear." And the Rattling says, No, our stomach is 4 times bigger than it used to be. I'm starving."
Oh god! So I imagine too that of the soldiers that are around, either they are dead their heads are exploded.
all
or they
of them
run.
are like the noise is too much for them to handle. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're fine. The Pluto the giant ape is holding his ears and stop screaming! And he's gonna pick up a chunk of rock and I'm gonna huck it at the Chimera.
At the Chimera? Okay, go for it.
So I'm gonna throw a big old rock. I'm gonna get a crit.
Oh!
Nice.
I needed that. So we're doing our crit rolls.
Yep, yep, roll it.
It's gonna be 72 damage.
Oh!
Nice.
Okay, that was a big hit.
That was so I get one ranged weapon attack. It's for 7d6 plus 6 damage. So critting on it was a big.
Yep.
So I in his
The
panic
harpy cries out and it screams, and the scream at the crit actually hurts everyone's ears. Yeah.
Oh, that guy's head exploded.
yeah.
Well, with that,
That's Pluto's turn.
its lamprey-like tail is super stretchy and elastic. Who is under the archway?
Me.
It's going to attack you. It's going to use its next epic action to attack you with its lamprey tail, getting a 24 to hit.
Yes.
Okay.
I am going to silvery barbs.
Okay, so I have to roll less than... Okay, so that turns into a 21.
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay. I'm going to give myself advantage on whatever the
Okay,
next thing is.
Yeah.
13 piercing damage, and you are bleeding 2d6 as the lamprey tail kind of bites you and like leaves chunks ripped out of your flesh.
And con save, that is a 18.
Yeah.
Okay, you're good. Good. Gemini, we're over to you.
All right. I'm going to point. First of all, I take damage, right?
Yes, you do. You take 10 thunder damage for being in the Cacophonous.
Where is it? So I pointed it and I'm like, foul beast, you stand before the great Pluto Jackson, who's probably, hopefully going to do something to save us all. And I'm going to choose him as my Hexblade's Curse.
Okay.
And then, because it's in the air, I'm going to start blasting.
So I started blasting.
And... oh no.
Oh no.
I get a 1, and then I get a 15.
Both of those misses. It gracefully flutters out of the way of both shots.
I am disoriented from all of the yelling.
Screaming.
So then I run.
Oh, and I'm
Behind
pretty
this-
sure my familiar's dead. Just thinking right now.
Okay.
You're familiar. He popped. And that's my turn.
Okay. The Cacophonous Chimera is going to use its last action, its epic action this turn, to do an aerial maneuver. It can move its speed without provoking opportunity attacks. So it is going to move so that it is flying over top of Gemini, still in the air, but with Gemini in his
Maybe just for sake, these people are running.
Yeah.
Ah!
Within reach.
Ah!
Yeah. So it's about 10 feet in the air above Gemini.
Hey Gemini, how you doing over there?
There's a 3-headed monster trying to eat me. So
Galatea, it is your turn.
Okay, so I take how much damage?
10 thunder damage.
10.
Yep. And then you'll be bleeding at the end of your turn if you don't save.
And then in order to... Can I heal myself to get rid of that?
Yes, that is the only way to get rid of bleeding is you need healing or a medicine check.
Okay, I am going to use my last restorative
Ointment?
ointment,
Okay.
which is 18. Is it 18?
Yep.
Nice.
I definitely gotta say, that feedback that we got of bleeding and burning being at the end of your turn, it really makes it way more interactive, that choice.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
Yep.
It's cool. It's cool. Like it gives you a chance.
Yeah.
I like. The
I
choice.
think what we're gonna do though is if it's at the end of the turn, I think we're gonna up the damage on both the initial attack and because then you've got a really big choice to make. Yeah.
And then I think I'm just going to move out of its
Aura?
range. Yeah.
Okay. Well, in that case, it's going to use its next epic action at the end of your turn to unleash, to continue the cacophony. Oh, and I did need saving throws from each of you to end stagger.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's,
I saved against this thing.
Yes, so the two of you who were staggered, it's DC 16 charisma.
Charisma?
Yeah.
No dice.
Nope.
Okay, so you both remain staggered. Now, though you're still staggered, now the Cacophonous Chimera is going to unleash its bewildering chitter. This is the rattling taking the lead. I need intelligence saving throws.
19.
Okay.
10, but I rolled a 1 on the die.
Okay.
I got a 1.
Okay. The two of you are now both bewildered.
Instead of?
No. In addition, bewildered and staggered.
Oh, cool. Stacking.
So, this means that you cannot cast spells except for cantrips.
But I can throw rocks?
You can throw rocks, but you can only throw one rock.
That's all I need.
Yep.
I'm gonna rock his world. Oh, I should have saved that.
Okay.
Forget.
Yeah, and the range on its cacophony is 300 feet. So, yeah. Oh, and those of you that failed to save also take 10 psychic damage.
Oh gosh.
Okay. With that, the Chimera, it's its turn. And so I don't think it needs to move from where it is. It's pretty happy. We're over to Pluto.
I huck a rock.
Huck that
Wait,
rock.
but I take another 10 damage.
You do, from the cacophony.
Starts adding up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I huck a rock. I want a rock! 23.
That is a hit.
Yeah! I pick up another chunk of, like, broken statue. And I throw it at the, Chimera. 10... 36 damage.
Ouch. Okay. It's pretty wounded by that, but it's still kicking.
Yeah!
It's not even bloodied yet. In response to that, rebuffed by that, it kicks its wings back and unleashes a wing blast. Both of you are within 15 feet of it, so both of you need strength saving throws.
Uh-oh. Ooh, 17.
I'm realizing my stats are very similar to that of a giant ape's.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm like 24.
Okay, you both succeed, but you both still take 12 thunder damage. Neither of you are pushed, though, by that.
Ugh.
And Gemini, we're over to you.
Eldritch Blast would not be an attack action, it would be a spell casting action.
So, Eldritch Blast is a cantrip that lets you make multiple attacks. And so when you are staggered, you can only make one attack. So you can fire one
I'm not
beam.
staggered.
Okay, yeah.
I just, for the purposes of pairing it with Blade Flourishes.
I think Blade Flourish requires a weapon attack.
It says, whenever you take the attack action on your turn.
So you're not taking the attack action, you're casting Eldritch Blast.
Oh, if a weapon attack hits, you can use.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, we're just gonna keep blasting then.
Okay.
What's his hex stat?
Right now he is the target of my Hexblade's Curse. I can stack Hexblade's Curse and Hex though, right?
Yeah, you can.
Then I'm going to Hex.
And you take 10 thunder damage.
Right.
Yeah. From being in the aura.
So he's hexed. He's Hexblade cursed. And I'm going to blast him twice. Getting a 15 and a 23.
The 23 does manage to slam into the creature's body, but the 16 goes wide.
That's still better than nothing. So that's going to be this plus 4. 17 damage.
Okay.
As a skilled swordsman, I'm not swordsing very well. I'm going to then move into this alleyway, 40 feet away.
Okay, out of the range of it. In that case, what it's going to do is it's going to just do a contaminated bite on Pluto.
Oh!
Getting a 15 to hit.
That hits.
Okay, it does.
all you, man.
It does 17 piercing
it's all-
damage and
okay.
10 necrotic damage, so 27 damage.
Ooh.
And I need a con save.
Thank goodness I'm not still taking those at disadvantage. And I use the con of my new.
Yeah, of your new form. Yep.
I get an 11.
That is a failed save, so you gain 1 level of contamination. So roll me a d6 to see if you mutate.
Would a giant ape mutate?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that'd be so cool. I got a 2.
Oh,
So close.
no mutations. Okay.
I like that we all want it to, like, it's my
I
favorite.
know.
I mean, a giant ape mutating would be so
I know.
funny.
Yeah.
But honestly,
We go to the top of the round with Galatea.
Galatea, you kept us in this fight. If I was a giant ape, I'd
So
be-
Galatea, you are staggered. You can roll a save against being staggered and bewildered, even though
I do it at the end of mine, right?
it's at the end of the turn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh! I got a 20 and 19.
Okay, you're not staggered
Sorry,
anymore.
18. 18 for staggered, and then insane.
Bewildered. Yeah, it's in.
I get a 14.
You're still bewildered, but it really doesn't matter in your case. Okay, Galatea, you're both bewildered and staggered.
So I
You can't cast spells other than cantrips.
Yep.
And you can only make 1 attack per turn.
1 attack. Okay. So I think all I can do, I think at this point, is I'm gonna firebolt it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Given your positioning, I'm gonna give it cover for +2 AC.
I'm gonna move forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can move forward so that you're just barely in its aura, like barely out of its aura.
Okay.
Nice.
See? 22.
22,
Hit.
that does hit.
14 damage.
Okay. It is bloodied. And this triggers its crescendo of chaos reaction. When the Cacophonous Chimera's current hit points fall below half its hit point maximum, it can use this reaction. It may do so even if it is incapacitated or otherwise unable to take reactions. All conditions and spells on the Cacophonous Chimera immediately end unless it chooses to be affected by them. There's none on it, so it doesn't matter. And it can move its speed without provoking opportunity attacks and ignoring difficult terrain.
Would Hex or Hexblade's curse?
Oh yeah, those would both end. Yep, those both end on it. Yeah, they would. Okay.
Cool.
It then
Glad I
unleashes a
reminded
blast of thunderous power. Creatures within 300 feet who can hear it must make a wisdom saving throw.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I need to do my saves for you.
Oh, yeah.
Wisdom?
Yeah.
18.
26.
11.
You fail, so you take 17 thunder damage and 17 psychic damage. What did you get?
I got a
18?
18, yeah.
You both take half, so it's 8 and 8. And you are knocked prone
Ow.
as giant ape
Oh.
form.
Oh.
And I got a 13 on my save for concentration.
Okay, so you're still good. And the Chimera, it gets to move. Who is anybody bloodied?
Oh yeah.
I am.
Not as a giant ape I am, but overall no.
It's gonna fly over to Galatea.
No.
And land on the ground behind Galatea. Yeah. Because that was its reaction. So now it's going to use its epic action because Galatea's turn is over.
Should I do my saves now?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the first one?
Staggered.
Which is a
Yeah.
charisma.
Charisma, yeah.
No. 3.
Okay, and then bewildered.
And that's a wisdom or intelligence?
Intelligence.
Attention.
18.
You are no longer bewildered.
So I can do spells?
Yeah, you can do spells. Okay, so it's going to come right back around behind you, though, and it is going to claw and talons you,
Uh-oh.
I can react to
getting
things
a
now.
24 to hit.
Oh, God.
I am going to silver barbs it.
I rolled even higher.
No, okay.
Okay, so you take 15 slashing damage, and I need a DC 16 dexterity saving throw, or you're knocked prone.
9, and then what do we need to roll for concentration?
You just a DC 12, DC 10.
Okay, so
Okay, so you are knocked prone, and then the Cacophonous Chimera on its turn, it is just going to. Is there a position that it can fly to that gets all of you still within its aura?
What's the aura? 30 feet?
Yeah, I'm gonna see if it can, because it's smart enough to do that.
I'm gonna move this.
It would have to be really close to the tower, I think.
Well, I'm over here,
Yeah.
so I would have to.
So if it flies there, you're in. There we go. Got you all.
That was wonderful.
Okay, everybody just back up 5 feet.
Yeah.
Okay. Pluto, it's your turn.
I get up
Okay.
and I'm gonna run at the Chimera.
10 thunder damage.
Ow.
You're nibbling its wings. That's the sound that a giant ape makes when it eats chimera wings. I've heard it. I've now heard it firsthand.
I just start whacking at it with my big fist, and I'm no longer bewildered, so I can make 2 fist attacks.
Yep.
Can I use lucky?
No.
Does an 11 hit?
No.
That's 2 no's. Does a 14 hit?
No. 3 no's. No, no, no! Says the rattling.
That's
Okay. Well, you ran up to it, so it's just going to do a contaminated bite against you again. It rolls. It gets a 13 to hit.
Yeah.
Okay. 27 damage, 10 of which is necrotic, and I need another con save versus contamination.
I accept your. Yeah, I passed. I got like a
Oh, that means you
24.
didn't mutate anymore. Okay.
He bites me.
Alrighty, Gemini, we're over to you. 10 thunder damage.
10 thunder damage. 10 thunder damage. I'm going to back up 10 feet so that I'm outside of the aura. And we're going to call in the big guns and use Psychic Lance against this thing. So I need an int saving throw from you.
Okay. I get a 23.
What?
What? How are you that smart?
I'm proficient in intelligence saving throws. I don't know who wrote this monster.
Was it you, Kelly?
I mean, it's got a lot of brains, a lot of heads.
Yeah, 3 heads.
3 heads.
3 heads. It's the combined mental power of 3 heads.
You're
yeah.
still going to take
I'm
half
a
of
rattling,
whatever.
a harpy, and a. What's the other one? It's a rattling,
Yeah.
a harpy, and a.
I feel like
Garnet.
they add up to like 1.2
Yeah.
between the
Yeah,
yeah.
that's still pretty good.
And the harpy is like a whole like is most of the
A
brains.
harpy does the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
Half of 28.
So 14 damage.
I've done more with Eldritch Blast.
Okay. You're out of range of it, but Galatea, you're still within 30 feet of it, so it's gonna lamprey tail Galatea.
But she's on the ground, right?
She's
Does that
prone.
Help? Does that help?
That helps it.
Yeah, but I still rolled 2 2s. So I got a 13 to hit.
No.
Okay.
Gosh.
Well, then we go to Gemini.
I just went, didn't I?
Oh yeah, you did just go. So we go to Galatea.
Do I take damage?
10.
I'm down.
No.
Okay. So I'm just gonna need a
You're
death save.
No longer an ape.
It's okay. I only had 2 hit points left as an ape.
Okay. Pluto is de-aped.
I've been de-aped.
Need a death saving throw.
The ape did its job.
Now it's just Pluto nibbling on a wing.
I rolled an 18.
Okay.
Nice.
So you know what sucks though about epic bosses for the player characters?
Oh no.
Is epic bosses still take epic actions after dead and dying player characters.
Yeah.
So, Galatea, I'm going to unleash my last. My harpy has spoken. My rattling has spoken. So now I'm going to unleash a chilling howl, and I need everyone to make a wisdom saving throw. You still
I
make
do?
one.
Okay.
Yeah.
25.
19.
13.
You fail, so you take 10 cold damage, which is 1 automatic failed death save. Okay. And the and so that's that. The Chimera is its turn, so we go to Pluto.
I'm going to.
I got you.
No, that's good. I'm feeling the chill of death.
Yo,
Gemini, can you save Galatea?
literally, it's the most important thing that I could do right now.
I'm going to attack the Chimera
Okay.
with my my normal sword. It's not even that great. Getting a like a 25 to hit,
Yeah, you got it.
and it's gonna take. Ooh. Whoa. 9 19 plus 9. 28 damage, and I want a wisdom saving throw, DC 17.
I get a 16.
I goading attack. It has disadvantage on all attack.
Okay, bring it on then, buddy.
I still bat my chest.
Okay. You got some more attacks going there?
And one more attack for like a 28 to hit.
Yep.
For 16 damage.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna try action surging. And
did you take your 10 thunder damage at the start of your turn?
no, I didn't.
Okay.
So I'll take that now. I'm coming after you, Chirpy. I'm gonna call him Chirpy because he chirps so much. Use another precision strike, so I get a 24 to hit.
Okay.
Yeah. For 23 damage.
Okay.
And another attack, my final attack, does an 18 hit.
Yes, that is its AC.
Yeah. And this time I want to try, can I get you to make a strength save, DC 17?
I get a 30.
You're fine.
Sorry, a 23. I'm actually not proficient in strength saves.
For 17 damage. I
Okay.
unleash just a flurry of blows against the Chimera.
Grievously wounding as you cut and scrape into it, it screeches and it returns the attack right back at you with a contaminated bite.
Uh-oh.
Getting a 20 to hit.
That hits.
17 piercing damage and 10 necrotic, and I need a con save versus contamination.
Oh. Okay. Con 14.
It's a failed save. Contamination level 2.
Level 2.
Roll to mutate.
2.
Okay, you mutate. Roll a d20.
Yes.
What are we cheering for?
It'll be
Ma on the belly. Ma on the belly.
3.
Got a 3. Your fingernails, teeth, and toenails start falling out. 2d6 fall out for each contamination level you have gained.
So 4d6.
So, in total, you lose a combined total of 13 fingernails, teeth, and toenails.
And it's I feel like it's mostly in the face. and the only thing keeping some of my fingernails on are just my gloves.
Yeah.
As soon as I take my gloves off, I'm gonna be like, what's missing? Something's wrong.
Alrighty, with that we go to Gemini. You're not in the aura?
Not in the aura.
Okay.
If I walk into the aura, I have to start my turn there, right?
Yeah.
I rush in next to Pluto.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, Pluto, you need to survive. Your book needs to make money. And I slap a manuscript on your chest. And I'm going to point my quill over at Galatea and cast Healing Word.
Yeah.
As a second level spell, giving her 9 hit points.
Yay!
Not enough to survive the aura.
What is it? Is it? Oh, it's
2d4 plus 5.
It's technically, I will roll the damage to see,
Okay.
give you a
Okay.
chance.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's.
And then I'm going to use my action to, and I'm like, and as I draw my blade, I say, Pluto, take the rest of the men, get into the sewers, you'll survive there.
The sewers, a genius idea.
And then I'm going to attack it, getting a 26 to hit,
It's a hit.
and my other attack is a 16 to hit.
That's a miss.
All right, one a hit. One a hit.
One a hit.
Want it.
11 more damage. Not enough
Okay.
to kill it.
No.
I thought I would be way cooler
Are
than
you
that.
both beside it?
We are both beside the Chimera. Probably different heads. I'm chewing on.
Okay, I think that this is an appropriate moment for it to epic action its wing blast. So strength saves from both of you.
Ooh.
Do you accept an 11?
Yeah, and that's failed.
I get a 26.
That's a success. So that is going to be 16 thunder damage, and you're pushed 10 feet away.
Right into the statue.
Boof! 8 thunder damage, but you're not pushed.
Zap.
And
This is how the story's gonna end.
Galatea,
Oh no, how much damage? How much damage?
do you want to roll it? 3d6 damage.
Okay.
Or do you want me to roll it?
You roll it. You roll it.
4, 2,
Oh, it needs to be
6 damage.
It needs to be 2 or less.
2.
Yay!
8 damage.
Okay.
You have 1 hit point.
Okay.
Do it.
Oh.
Do it.
I can't figure out what I need to do. Okay, I stand up,
Okay.
and do I see how wounded it is? Do I look at it and it's like,
It's pretty wounded.
okay, I'm gonna run over to it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try. I hope I don't miss. I'm gonna steel wind strike it.
I see you get up, and the men are invigorated. They're
Okay.
Is it you make an attack against it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally your call. I had a silvery barbs from before that I didn't use. Because I went down, is it?
No, I think you still have it.
Okay, so I can use it
Yeah.
on this.
Yeah.
Okay. So I can use 16.
It's a myth.
No! It's okay. It's okay. So that is that was my. How far did I move? I moved feet.
I'm so sorry.
about,
it's okay,
about 30
I
feet.
tried.
About 30 feet. I mean, you were within 30 feet, right?
Yeah.
Let me just see what this spells
Yeah, but you did have to spend half your movement to get up.
to get up. I mean, I have. No, my bonus action. I'm just going to activate my blade song.
Okay.
I got it. Just in case it tries to hit me in between.
All right. The Cacophonous Chimera is going to unleash another chilling howl from the Garmir head. I need wisdom saving throws from all of you.
19.
You're good.
25.
You're good.
15.
You take 10 cold damage and you become immobilized.
I'm down again.
Galatea is down again. The Chimera is very happy in its current position, so it's not going to move. Pluto, it is your turn. How many hit points we got?
I know. It's all right.
How are we doing?
Rocking,
We're down.
41.
I'm at 9.
Okay.
Oh no.
Okay.
Get to the sewers.
Pluto, what are you going to do?
Run away? No, I'm attacking it. This is for the glory of House Jackson. I attack the.
Go for it. Do what you need to do.
Hey, don't worry about Galatea. She's not canon.
For all we know, I'm a figment. For all we know, they're a figment of your imagination at this point. We don't know.
I attack the Chimera using my last thing. I get a 19 to hit
That's a hit.
for 21 damage.
Okay.
Oh my god. Die! Die! I get a 20 to hit for 13 damage.
What happens?
Oh! I cut off a part of its eel tail. I strike it in the in one of its legs, so it kind of buckles, and then I pierce all 3 heads at once.
Like a
and make
shish
shish
kebab.
Yeah. it perfectly lines up, and I finish the thing.
And with that,
The great beast.
the Cacophonous Chimera slumps down, dead. The noise ends, and the Caspian soldiers begin to recover their position. Those who have not been deafened or had their heads exploded from the noise.
Medic!
How many are we down now?
Medic!
Maybe like 100.
I cast a healing word, healing word on you, giving you 8 hit points.
Thank you.
Oh man.
Oh,
Okay,
man.
those that are left, you 3, Gimbals, Chubbs, the other guy.
So you would have just gone down at the start of your turn because it would have been 3d6
Oh, no.
for you.
Really?
Yeah, I would have done exactly 9 damage.
Oh,
You three.
You would have gone down.
Hold me.
And then I would have been able to attack Pluto with another bite.
Which is like 27 plus the 10
Yeah.
I take at the
Yeah.
start. That's
Yeah.
37 damage. I would
So
have 4
close.
health.
Yeah.
I think the streets have become too dangerous. I think it would be better if we got off of the roads of Drakkenheim.
Yeah, the sewers I think are a safer place.
I
There's
doubt.
probably nothing in the sewers.
Attracted to the noise, you see the swarming crowds of ratlings and Garmir and the flying harpies coming towards you all. And this is the moment to run. Run!
Pluto, take your men. Galatea and I will hold them off.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I have the manuscript.
Take my manuscript. Protect it.
People-
It's called Pluto Jackson's Guide to Monster Slaying or something.
we will go
Monster
down.
Slaying Guide. We'll workshop it.
People will remember your name.
We will do this together.
Of course.
Pluto said, leaping into the sewers with what men he could, and promptly dropping the manuscript in the sewers of Drakkenheim.
Why did you make it out of paper?
What else was I going to make it out of? I don't know that he dropped it.
Yes. The fates of Galatea and Gemini unknown as they held off the Ratlings, Garmir, and Harpies in the wake of the titanic battle against the Cacophonous Chimera as Pluto set to the sewers with his men, there meeting Sebastian Crow for the first time. And that is where the story of Dungeons of Drakkenheim will once again pick up again. That has been Pluto Jackson's Monster Hunt. Let us return to the campfire and hear the story.
And as I ran for my life against the swarms and hordes of ratlings, I met a very young and misunderstood sorcerer. That's you.
So it was literally minutes after all of your people died that I jumped in and helped.
Yeah. And you didn't see like a book, some pages lying around, did you?
I've seen lots of pages in Drakkenheim lying around. Was I supposed to be paying attention to those?
No, I'm just remembering that I probably should have published that story.
So you have no idea. I mean, it's safe to assume that along with all of your other people, that Galatea and Gemini are dead, but you don't actually know.
Well, they definitely risked their lives, and they were some of the finest warriors that I could have ever had accompany me in my journeys. They were brash, they were bold, they were vicious in combat, creative, improvisational, kind of mean sometimes. Really talked really down to my face, but overall, the best part was that my dad didn't have to pay them, so that worked out really nicely.
Oh, it's actually kind of tragic.
Didn't you get paid?
Yeah, I don't think they ever collected.
So your court wizard and the person who was literally trying to author a book in your name never got paid and just died in Drakkenheim following you?
I think there's, we have a fund.
Is the lesson not to follow you? Is the lesson not to let you lead?
I mean, the lesson here, because funny enough, I remember that Chimera being in the streets, and I definitely ate one of its limbs. So follow him, and you'll get a good meal. That's what I'm learning from
Follow
this.
him and you might be a good meal. People's heads were exploding.
Yeah.
Pretty sure you told a guy to touch delirium and he exploded?
Well, I didn't know it was delirium at the time, and I also forgot about delirium.
Which you had seen earlier.
Yeah.
Again, it's the moths. It was the moths that
Man.
affected the memory.
Yeah, I realized how much those moths affected me. I think being here and having a chance to rest and kind of like collect my thoughts has really, connected some links that were broken many moons ago.
So if we sit down and think hard enough about our past experiences, we might gain some wisdom?
I think that, I looked before. I didn't look before I leapt. I really got us in over the head, but look what I came back from. When I came to Drakkenheim, I was a very strong regiment, one of the finest that Caspia has ever formed, especially on foreign soil. And we were destroyed. We were picked apart so quickly. I lost two of my best soldiers, left to the horrors of Drakkenheim. And look how far I've come with just you two. And I think if anything, we had a great bond and they sacrificed themselves, but we've sacrificed a lot too.
When we first met up with Veo, you and I, at Ackerman Mill, and we were writing the names of people in the windmill.
Yeah.
You wrote Ratfood, Gimbals, and Chubbs, who... Why didn't you write Gemini and Galatea? I mean, by the sounds of your story, the only time that Ratfood, Gimbals, and Chubbs came up was, I'm pretty sure Gemini yelled their names once and didn't even call Ratfood. He said the other guy. So, why were they the important ones?
The fact that you remember that just says a lot.
I met you and you were crying because Ratfood, Gimbal, and Chubbs had just died.
Perhaps it's because Pluto hopes and knows that Galatea and Gemini survived that day somehow.
That's the right explanation.
Wow.
Yeah, not that this was written after all of that and we're trying to write backwards and sort of it's actually that I truly believe deep down that they survived, like they always do. They're survivors, and they could be anywhere. They could have joined up with the Queen of Thieves.
Why is that the first thing that you suggest?
Yeah, because they were renegades like me.
I'd love to meet them one day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe we shall.
They sound really nice.
Yeah, or they're dead, or they're totally dead.
What did you guys think of the Cacophonous Chimera?
So fun!
The man, that start of the round damage really starts to add up. You got to find a way to get away from that 30-foot.
Yeah.
That really hurts.
The damage aura is one of the key features of all of our epic bosses, because it keeps the pressure really high. Because what we've just found through our own playtesting with the epic bosses that we've made is that when you have a solo monster and it whiffs an attack, even one that is attacking every single turn, just having that constant source of pressure, but still one that the players have some way of avoiding it, but they have to hold back in some way, shape, or form. And the 30-foot aura has been a good spot for it because that still has allowed it to be a threat against spellcasters and ranged characters. Mm-hmm. So that element alone just keeps it a nice clock.
Yeah.
And really means that you have to fight it. You have to take it down because it will. Callie and I were discussing even more recently, as we've been balancing the epic bosses, our sort of target in which I think we actually did a little bit better for this current fight is epic bosses are meant to be used against a lower level party than their CR to really give them that difficulty, and their punch level is that we want them to down at least one character and bloody the rest of the party. Mm-hmm. And that's what we had here. Yeah. And it makes it suitably nail biting. Right.
Yeah.
Right. And what's great about it is that even if we only had a party of 3, but because adding a couple more player characters, because of the damaging aura, because that's passive, and because the epic action scale as well, the damage output scales to the number of characters, as does the hit points on it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, things I liked about it is it didn't feel like I was just it's not like it was running around biting me the whole time. I definitely took some bites, but I still felt the pressure of the damage. And I have to say that if I wasn't polymorph, it would have been a lot different. I took 100. I took 200 damage.
Mm-hmm.
One of the beautiful things though is that when you think about tailoring it to a higher level party should have these sorts of tools to mitigate that. And if my spell had landed, I used one big spell. Other than that, I just hit it with a sword and Eldritch Blasted it. But I could have incapacitated it. I had Hypnotic Pattern. There were other tools in our belt if things got dire that we could have pulled out to.
Yeah.
And I think that the higher level you get, you always need to account for the fact that a party does have more tools the higher
Yeah.
level they get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One move that I didn't pull with the Chimera that it can do too is that if you do have a party that is trying to outrange it, because it has a fly speed of 60 feet, it can use one of its epic actions to just move. And so it is able to move and position itself to get people in its aura. Whereas you contrast that to the Humongous Fungus Troll, where it has to pull people into its aura. So we try to give every epic boss some way that it can have the control, like a little bit of control itself over positioning that aura. So if you do get a group that is playing really cagey with an epic boss, especially because we've tended to use them in pretty open environments where there's a lot of space to move, it's a little bit more challenging in a dungeon. But that's also why, like, one of our tips with using an epic boss is generally because they're all huge or larger creatures. Like, you want to have them in a pretty big arena where there's room for that sort of mobility around them, because if you just stuff a bunch of players in a 30 by 30 room with an epic boss, it's going to be pretty mean. Yeah.
Well, how would you ever feel about, would you ever put like other creatures with this epic boss, or would you rather have it fight alone?
So the design intent with all the epic bosses is that they're solo threats. So they don't need to be used with additional monsters. And so our kind of design philosophy has been where if you feel like another monster is needed in the combat, we need to go back to the epic boss and change something so that it doesn't feel like it needs to have another monster with there. What's really fun as a DM running an epic boss is that it also lets you put all of your mental energy and all of your mental bandwidth in just the boss. And so and that's why they're able to have like a lot of different abilities that they do. Like the Cacophonous Chimera has an ability that targets every single saving throw, right? So
like the 3 screams,
Mm-hmm.
the wing blast,
The tail.
the tail,
the bite, and
Yeah.
then the slash, which knocks you prone.
so it was con,
Yeah.
strength, dex, and then you had the 3.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yep.
It was a lot of fun to fight, and it did feel like to the end.
Yeah. One more round, we wouldn't have made it.
Yeah, that would have been.
Yeah.
So we got it.
And that's what the aura does too, is that the aura does make it very desperate when someone goes down, because you can't just leave someone bleeding out around an epic boss, because the aura will just kill them, right? So it adds a lot of that tension in there, which it's always been a concern, because having now run a bunch of epic boss fights in testing and having seen someone go down basically every time. I don't think you've done every. Has there been an epic boss battle that we've done where someone hasn't gone down?
No, but we also have never had anybody die, which I think is like the perfect.
Yeah, it's really.
We've always had somebody go down. It always feels really desperate and like they're about to die, and then some. But it makes people act.
I feel like one of the things that, and I felt this. We ran a couple test games with the HFT at GaryCon as well, and I really felt like, and even here, like, you get to the very end of the epic boss fight, and you definitely notice amongst the players, like, are we about to TPK? And then they survive.
That 1 minute of damage.
And honestly, that is the feeling, like, that feeling of like that one moment where like the players are like, are we gonna die?
Hold your breath. It's a hold your breath moment of like,
but there's a pretty like there's still like a margin, and I like that. Like, it's right. I don't know. I like to use this metaphor of like the trick with the epic boss is it's like you're trying to drive towards a cliff in a like a high speed car, and you're trying to stop the car right at the edge of the cliff by slowing down at the last second, like as fast as you can. Stop right there, because like it feels so good when you hit that point. And so I feel like with the epic bosses, we're really hitting that point.
I think we felt that in all the games we've played with the epic bosses so far. Is like every time we fought something, it's like, are we gonna make it to the end? And we do, and it feels great, but it's definitely a sliver of we almost didn't make it.
Close. It's always close.
Yeah.
Since this is the end of the Pluto Jackson's Monster Hunt, and since we're almost near the end of the campaign on Kickstarter, which chapter of monsters did you guys have the most fun with?
I
We
have-
had the
yeah.
the fungal trolls
Yep.
plus the magma and winter troll. We had the apothecary abominations. We had the space between worlds,
Mhm.
and then we had the horrors of Drakkenheim.
Oh, so hard. All of them were really fun.
That's the right answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I would play all of them again, but I just love the humongous fungus troll. He's my
I
fave.
mean, really fun. What about you?
It has to be the apothecary abominations. I love the horror, like, because there's horror that's like silent or it stalks you, but the abominations are like running at you
Yeah.
at full speed, and that's what I think is the part that really
Yeah.
terrifies you is their strength, but they're also just like their willingness to just like they want to rip you in half.
Mhm.
And they want to saw parts of you off. I think that's just such a cool like way to play them. So that's what scares me about them, and that's what I love fighting.
Monty, did you have a particular one?
I love the Bojack. I
Yeah.
love the
That
Bojack.
was really cool.
I like that was one that we were working on very very recently as well, and like really dialing it in for this, and like that thing just plays so fun.
Yeah.
Just the dynamics of it moving, and I think like what I'm very proud of with a lot of these monsters that we've created is like there might be a handful of them where maybe we actually have to just remove an ability or two, because that's definitely been one of those things where it's like hitting the sweet spot of like how many different powers does a monster need to stay interesting and engaging, or sometimes does it need one or two more things?
Well, I think that the Bojack and the Lob Frog are actually great examples. The Lob Frog has one move,
Yeah,
and it jumps really well and it throws eggs. That's all it does. The Bojack, two moves. They just happen to be really cool. And I think making sure that our main monsters are just like a couple really cool moves that also work together really well.
yeah,
That can be synergized with like other things. Like having the Bojack and the frog together was like, yeah, it was hard.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that was hard.
Another one that stands out to me, the Ripper, extremely simple stat block.
Yeah.
But that thing was terrifying
Yeah.
to play.
yeah. The only ability from the Bojack that we didn't get to see was that it does automatically crit those that it surprises. It does have an assassinate like ability.
Oh.
Yeah, so its idea is that it pretends to be a dead horse, and then it jumps up and crits you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's scary.
Yeah, pretty much. We saw everything that everything did. So yeah, and then we've got all these amazing miniatures, and we've unlocked a couple more stretch goals as well to get minis for the Maw Vermin. I think we're coming up on the and a few more. So it's been really cool to get all these new minis and showcase all these. The team at Four Realms of Chaos did an amazing job painting up the whole suite of all of the Drakkenheim minis. So make sure that if you want to see all the minis up close, we got some amazing photos of them on the Kickstarter page as well, of those ones that were painted by the Four Realms of Chaos. For those of you that play with minis, we've got them available both as STLs that you can print yourself with the 3D printer at home, or you can get the factory produced minis as well that we'll be making too. So
And we are entering the final 24 hours of our Kickstarter. So if you enjoyed this series, you can check the links below for the stat blocks of the monsters that we fought, but there are so many more cool monsters that are going to be available in this book. Not only that, but we've unlocked a lot of stretch goals to add even more cool monsters. Some of these stretch goals that people are really excited about, we unlocked Vlad von Draken. So Vladimir von Draken is an epic boss who's going to have 3 different stat blocks for his 3 different stages. We also unlocked the Ancient Entities. So if you are looking for a group of CR 20 to 30 epic bosses that kind of are for, okay, you finished your Drakkenheim campaign, but the players want to keep going, and you want to throw something really, really scary at them at the end.
yeah,
The Ancient Entities kind of work as something that can come through the rift in Drakkenheim and ruin everybody's day. So that's kind of what the ancient entities are. So we've unlocked those stretch goals. So we're getting even more epic bosses in the book, but there's also 150 plus monsters that are going to be available. We unlocked stretch goals for all of the NPC stat blocks, which are going to be really handy. If you're running a Drakkenheim campaign, they're going to fill out the ranks of the 5 factions. Or if you're anything like Monty and I, you just love NPC stat blocks for just grabbing and using for all of the NPCs in your homebrew games. All of that and more is going to be available. So if you haven't jumped in on the Kickstarter yet, we are in the last 24 hours. It is the best time to back the Kickstarter. You get so much bang for your buck if you're jumping in on the Kickstarter. You're going to get all the awesome accessories. We have a little plushy Bruce dice bag. That's the most important thing you can get. We have special edition covers. We have DM screens, rulers, minis, all sorts of cool stuff.
And for those of you considering, the Kickstarter campaign is amazing because it's our best time to produce the accessories. Our amazing publisher at Ghostfire Gaming is committed to making sure that our digital versions of everything remain available. The print versions of the book stay in print, but when it comes to all the cool add-ons like the miniatures, like the maps, like the tokens, all these things are harder for us to produce outside of a Kickstarter campaign. So if these are things that are of interest to you, make sure you grab those in your pledge as well, because the Kickstarter is the best time to guarantee our availability, because we basically are making them to fit the number of orders that we take for them. And so, you know, now that this is our third book, and, you know, it's very interesting having people ask, like, oh, can I get the card decks from the first Drakkenheim? It's like, well, hopefully we can get them back. But like a Kickstarter, this is part of the reason why we do the Kickstarters, is because it makes it really easy to produce all these awesome accessories and add-ons as well. And also just for this project, because, you know, we now coming up on 200 stat blocks in this book. Want to get illustrations for all of them. We got the full digital offering. You can get this for D&D Beyond as well. So whether you're playing in person or digitally, how you want to play the game, we want to be able to utilize Drakkenheim. Whether, again, all these monsters are great for a Drakkenheim campaign, but there's all sorts of ways that you can use them in your own games too.
I also want to give a huge thank you to Kyle for all of the work that he has done through this whole series.
Yeah.
He's not only our behind-the-scenes guy who's doing all of the tech work, but he also is the editor of these episodes. So if you've been enjoying these episodes, you owe a lot of thanks to our man Kyle behind the camera.
And thanks to Jill, Kelly, and Joe for playing through all of these. You guys have been amazing.
And of course, thank you to our Dungeon Master, Monty Martin, for bringing these horrible monsters to life. It's honestly such a fun thing to write a monster in a book. For me, I know that you're also writing a bunch of these monsters, but like, I'll write a monster and be like, ooh, I wonder how fun that'll be in play. And then it gets to murder me.
Yeah.
And then
that's
I
great.
see how terrible of a job I've done, and I have nobody to blame but myself. And there's actually a lot of joy in knowing that I've
It's not
ruined my
terrible.
own day.
You've done a great job. It's just that it's backfired on you horribly.
Well, that's the thing. It's like the monster's doing exactly what it's supposed to do, and I'm having a bad day, but a good day, because you don't
You're
always.
conflicted.
It's conflicting.
Yeah.
It's complicated.
Yeah.
Being a creator of monsters who dies to them.
And of course, a big thank you to our amazing team at Ghostfire Gaming for supporting us through this process as well, being part of the team. Our amazing art director Marius and our sculptor Leandro, who made the miniatures, who created the concepts and artwork and sculpts for the miniatures, as well as the amazing team behind our cinematic trailer. Did a fantastic job there as well, and all the folks at Ghostfire, from our layout editor Martin Hughes, who's the one behind all the stat blocks that you can download. He's put all those together. So many people on the Ghostfire team that have been so amazing. So a big thank you. Or Nick, who's been active in all of our Discord communities, making sure all those questions get answered and the posts get updated. You guys have been super, super awesome. So a huge thank you. Shout out to Dante, helped us put the song together. Shout out to Matt, Big Boss Ghostfire Gaming. Everyone, super amazing. Thank you guys. Simon, getting all the product designs. If you want to know who's behind making sure all these things actually come to life, that's him. So thank you to all of the Ghostfire Gaming team and our teams as well.
And thank you to all of you who are backing this project, watching this show, supporting us in other ways. If you're a part of our Discord-only Patreon or our VIP, our Patreon-only Discord, or our VIP Discord for the Kickstarter, or if you are just a supporter of our show, in any way that you are supporting Monty and I and the rest of the team here, just thank you so much for being a part of this and letting us show you our world. It's been a treat, and we have so much more left to share.
Now, if you currently aren't on our Patreon, or one of our Patreon supporters or on the Discord server, or you weren't one of our VIP backers before the Kickstarter project, we just want to let you know that for all of our Kickstarter backers, we will be opening the VIP Discord server to all of the Kickstarter backers once the campaign concludes. That might be a couple days to weeks after the Kickstarter is over, because we have to make sure that everything goes through with all the pledges and everything like that. But we will be using that Discord server to communicate with backers, to share things for playtesting, so we can coordinate with everybody. And that will be a new nexus for information and sharing going forward. So if you are backing the Kickstarter, but you aren't on one of our Discords already through Patreon or through the VIP, you'll be able to get access to that once the Kickstarter campaign concludes. And that way you can join us as we bring this whole project to life, because Kelly and I are still putting the finishing touches on the manuscript for Monsters of Drakkenheim. We're going to be working very hard over the next 2-3 months to get that manuscript finished, get everything written, assemble a bunch of the feedback that we've already received. And then from there, we'll be starting up our playtesting, which can't say yet when we'll begin playtesting with our backers. But hopefully that will be something that we'll be getting in the late summer to the early fall. Collecting some playtest feedback on certain things, so stay tuned for when that begins, and then carrying on into delivering the project in 2025. With that, a big thank you one more time to everyone involved in this project, and we'll be taking the next couple weeks off from our regular broadcasts, but we will be back with Fate of Drakkenheim in just a couple weeks. So we'll see you then in Drakkenheim.
Dark in the night, for a fight, coals they tear, take a devil bite, run, try to hide, best to stay out of sight, sing a string, so we see morning rise, blades by a side, we will stand and fight, the brave and bold join the hunt tonight, around, grab your gear as the monsters are near, and we won't back down, face our fear, as a sword, shattered blade, spear, visions of night won't break us here, blades by a side, we will stand and fight, the brave and bold join the hunt tonight, turn the tide for those left behind, never grit our teeth, and we'll make things right, now we know we can fight, now we take back the night, our will and the light can't be taken tonight, together we stand, shields breaking our hands, in the dark we'll stand up and fight.